Now entering Nerdist.com.
What's up, guys?
How are you doing? Is that a new sweater? Because it looks great. It also might still be too hot to wear a sweater where you live, but that's okay. It's working for you.
Yeah, but it might be perfect sweater weather where you live, depending on which side of the globe you're on.
It might not even be enough, in which case, put on a jacket. You'll freeze.
Yeah, dude, what are you doing, man?
What are you even doing?
I'm freezing looking at you.
What are you even doing here?
Well, I don't even know you anymore, dude.
Yeah,
Dude,
I thought I knew you, but I guess I don't.
I guess I don't. You think you knew, but you have no idea. This is the diary of...
And if you don't know, now you know.
Now you know.
Listener.
Hey, listeners, as usual, this is Today We Learn.
Welcome. A podcast of knowledge.
Podcast of knowledge, as usual. My name is Razzle.
And I'm Dan.
And this is a fun episode, guys. This is really, really fun.
Yeah, if you guys are fans of shows like Ray Donovan, or perhaps Rake, or upcoming films like Selma, you might be super stoked for today's episode.
Yeah, he was.
And if you're not fans, sorry, I didn't mean to.
No.
If you're not fans, what is your problem?
Yeah, what's your problem, guys? And Eastbound and Down, guys. He was also on
Eastbound and Down.
He was
so funny.
So funny on Eastbound and Down. This is a fun episode, guys. If you liked all those shows, you'll like this show. Obviously, you like very cool things if you're even listening
You've
right
got
now.
good taste. We like the cut of your jib. It's a sick jib.
It's a sick jib.
Sweet jibs.
Yeah, sweet jib. He's also got we mentioned Selma. It's a great movie coming out, Selma.
On Christmas Day. So cancel your plans, say hi to your family, get some presents, or just be Jewish, go see a movie.
Absolutely. This is a great episode, and as usual, we want to thank you guys for listening. It's a start of a new year for us.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. It's the start of a new year.
We're on the Gregorian podcast calendar. It's a little different.
This is episode 53, and we got some really fun things.
Yes.
We got a lot of fun things planned.
Today we learned Series 2.
Season 2, yeah, that's essentially what this is. Really, is Season 2 of Today We Learned, we got this is going to be a fun season, guys.
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
It's going to be a lot darker. There's going to be some character deaths.
Yeah. I'm really excited to have you guys with us and join us for the ride.
Yeah,
this
so
next year.
New listeners, welcome. Old listeners, welcome back.
Yeah, and thank you.
Deaf people, do your thing.
Do your thing. So I guess
read a transcript of this podcast later on.
So I guess let's we'll just cut to the chase and introduce our next guest and let you guys get to laughing and learning and doing whatever it is you're doing.
Yeah.
And thanks again for all the reviews and everything you're giving us, guys. So thank you, guys. So I guess without further ado,
Today we learn number 53 with Omar Dorsey.
Today we learn. Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
But Space Mountain. Let's be real.
Come on, man. There's only one.
It's like the high. Well, there's two.
Two Space Mountains. Disneyland and Disney World.
Disney, Disney World and Disneyland.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. But,
it's only one original.
Exactly.
That's in Orlando.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Disney World, man. I'll tell you what. You're from Georgia, so have you gone to the Disney World a lot? Did you ever make the trek down?
Oh, down in Orlando?
Yeah, Orlando.
Yeah, man.
It's like I lived in Orlando for a little bit before I ended up moving here.
Right.
And to go to to go to Disneyland after you've experienced Disney World,
right?
It's like a really bummer letdown because it's like Disney World is amazing. It's so good.
I haven't been to the one out here though.
Oh, it's so small.
I haven't. Yeah,
it's fine. It's nice though because you can get it all done in a day. You don't feel like you're missing out. Like you're wasting
you really have
your money.
to get the 3-day pass when I go to Orlando.
Absolutely.
Because this was Epcot. It's just a different thing.
Yeah, and like Animal Kingdom, they're all so sprawling because there's nothing else to do in Orlando.
Right, yeah. We used to go every Thanksgiving. My ex-wife and I, and then our oldest kid, we used to go every Thanksgiving with her parents.
Okay.
So that was it was a pretty fun trip.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I love it. Even as an adult, it's so fun.
Yeah. Are you from Orlando?
I'm originally from Michigan.
Okay.
But I moved to Orlando to go to school down there.
Okay.
And I ended up working down there a little bit longer after I went to school. Then moved to Chicago after that. Then I moved out here, but I lived in Orlando for a good 3.5 years, and
okay.
When you live in those cities, you got to have the annual pass. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's how I did. Like, I got the annual pass to Six Flags now.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I really love Six Flags.
Tatsu, man, all about that.
You know what? I'm just like the biggest roller coaster type dude.
Yeah.
So, in Atlanta, we had Six Flags in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And I used to get a season pass every year, because I think it was like $30 or something like that.
Okay.
So,
well,
yeah.
Now you just need like a Coke can.
Well, we're recording. We'll introduce you in a minute. But while you're talking about roller coasters, I have a fact about roller coasters.
Okay.
We'll get into this. This is really interesting. Flip Flap Railway was the name. Yeah, that's quite a roller
That
coaster
catchy name.
Hey, we're gonna go wait in line for the Flip Flap Railway. We'll meet you at the food court later. Right. Flip Flap Railway was the name of a looping wooden roller coaster which operated for a number of years at Paul Boyton's Sea Lion Park on Coney Island, New York. The coaster, which opened in 1895, was notable for being the first looping roller coaster to operate in North America. It was also so notable for its engineering as well because it reached extreme G-forces due to it being a complete circle. Right. The circular nature of the coaster's loop, as well as the relatively small diameter, it was a 25 feet diameter loop, meant that it could produce forces of approximately 12 Gs. This caused riders to experience discomfort and neck injuries from whiplash, which is why modern roller coasters that loop have like a teardrop shaped because it disperses the G-forces.
Well, thank God for their noble sacrifice.
Man, okay.
Yeah.
It's funny you mention Coney Island, though, because I was just listening to Kumail Nanjiani's stand-up, and he was talking about how he rode the Cyclone at Coney Island, like the big old wooden coaster there, which that was built in 1927. Like, out of wood, that substance that does not degrade, stands the test of time.
No termites.
Yeah, exactly. No, totally safe. The next year, 1928, sliced bread was invented.
Oh, wow.
So
something.
They say everything is, his joke is like, they say something is the best thing since sliced bread, which means it's the best thing in an unimaginably long time.
Right.
This was invented the year before.
Yeah. It should be the best thing since roller coasters.
Exactly.
Since the Cyclone.
Exactly.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, that voice you hear is the very talented Omar Dorsey. Ladies and gentlemen,
Thank you.
You've seen him all over your TV and on film.
Eastbound and Down, Ray Donovan, Rake. He's going to be on the upcoming Battle Creek, which I'm pretty stoked for.
Yeah, he's got a new movie coming out called Selma,
right?
Which is I'm very interested to see that. I'm really looking forward to that.
That is going to be one of the great movies of our time.
Yeah,
it really is great. Yeah, definitely.
I was reading about it, and just the march, the three marches that it was based on, really threw me for a loop. I never heard of that.
Oh, okay.
And now I'm looking forward to that because I always like that type of it's a great way to teach you, and you can visualize the experience and what they went through more
exactly,
trying to do that.
And because King was playing really dangerous game of chess with the president.
Yeah.
Lives were at risk, but he was like, I believe in it this much that we're going to keep going out there.
Yeah.
And people getting hurt, people getting killed.
Yeah. And then there was one time where, I guess the cops and authorities, we're going to let him pass. And he's like, we're going to go back to this church and hang out, right?
Right.
The second time.
Yeah, they had to, because King didn't know it was on the other side.
Yeah.
He was like, those people might be out there with horses and rifles. So let's go ahead, because it just didn't feel right to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that type of thing.
Yeah. Selma coming out next year, I believe, right?
Coming out Christmas Day.
Christmas Day.
Really?
Yes.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Wonderful. Cool. Well, Omar, as our listeners know this, we like to start off every episode with the guest providing either a fun fact about themselves or something interesting they learned recently.
Oh, okay.
So if you happen to have any fun facts in your brain or anything about yourself you'd like to share?
I found out that cats sleep for 16 to 18 hours a day.
Oh, they have it so
I
lucky.
am so jealous of that.
Right?
If I get 6 hours, then that's a splurge. to
Yeah,
me.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's a long
Right.
sleep right there.
Yeah.
6.
18.
Yeah.
My roommate must be a cat.
Really?
It's like the sunlight is out. Get up and do something.
Right.
Speaking of cats, apparently today Hello Kitty was announced that she's not a cat. She's
What?
a little girl.
Oh, really?
Apparently, Hello Kitty is just a little girl.
Something went
who looks
terribly
like a cat.
wrong.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad plastic surgery, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She has a pituitary gland thing, a lot of fur.
Well, it's Japanese plastic surgery of the future.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Now that
And
makes sense.
She also has no mouth, which is still super weird.
She's fed intravenously.
Exactly, yeah. A lot of IV tubes.
Future, yeah.
Super into saline
Future
solution.
Omar, I was reading you are from Decatur,
I am
Georgia.
from Decatur,
Yeah,
Georgia.
fun fact about that is it's a city and the county seat. It's a city.
It's a
It's
spoiler.
a city. Spoiler alert. It's a city. It's a city and county seat of DeKalb County in Georgia.
DeKalb.
And it's DeKalb or DeKalb?
DeKalb.
DeKalb. Okay. And it is an in-town suburb of Atlanta. So,
Yep.
So
Yeah.
it's right near the Atlanta area.
Some really cool people from there too. So
Yeah.
I think Michael Stipes. Is Michael Stipe from there?
Okay.
Is he? I believe.
I
Chris
think so.
Tucker.
That sounds right.
Chris Tucker's from there.
And that's a
Yeah,
small
Michael
town, right?
Stipe. Michael Stipe's
yeah,
from there.
yeah.
From Decatur.
Yeah, from Decatur.
Okay,
Yeah.
and that's like I was reading. That's like 19,000 population average, right?
Right. Yeah.
Wow, so
yeah.
that's a good turnout of
Yeah.
talented
It's a
people.
lot of talented people. I went to a performing art high school though, so it's a lot of people from that
Yeah.
high school who are just like in Hollywood and in the music industry. It's
Yeah.
like, and it's like you said, it's not that big of a city, not that big of a town.
Yeah.
You know, it's a suburb of Atlanta, so
Yeah.
we all represent Atlanta. But
Yeah.
the city of Decatur is pretty small.
How far outside the city is it?
Just the very next city.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at the high school, was it a lot of people from Decatur? Or was it people from like all around like neighboring counties, stuff like that?
It's the same. It was everybody from DeKalb County. So it might be people from like Lithonia, people from Stone Mountain,
Okay.
or it's the people who are from DeKalb.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. Because like Fulton County is the next county over. That's Atlanta.
Okay.
So the people in Atlanta had their own performing arts school. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I remember I was in Atlanta. My cousin lives in Atlanta now, but when I was younger, they when Atlanta had the Olympics.
Yeah.
My mom runs a swimming pool store up in Michigan, and the headquarters of one of the swimming pool chemical companies is in Atlanta, and they had like a convention or whatever down there, so they flew a bunch of people down there, and they took us to the Coca-Cola factory, which is in Atlanta,
right downtown.
And they had in the touristy tour area
Right.
of that place, they had like these fountains that shot like streams of every type of flavor of Coke,
Right.
And you could like all the Coca-Colas from around the world, like all the weird flavors,
Right.
that Americans
We never get,
we could
yeah.
never get.
Yeah.
Right.
They had those, and it's like you got to taste them and realize why Americans don't like
Yeah,
them.
exactly.
Because it's like weird flavors.
Were you down? You said you were down there for the Olympics, though?
We didn't go to the actual Olympics, but we got tours of all the the swimming pool area, and,
Right.
like the track and field, the stadiums
Right.
and all that they built. It was
Man,
really neat.
that was the most traffic I've ever seen in my life. I woke up. I was at my girlfriend. It was during the summer, so I was on a play.
Yeah.
And I was on a play for the Olympic Arts Festival, and so I was leaving my girlfriend's house to come back to because I was living downtown at the time.
Yeah.
I've never seen that much traffic in my life. It looked like a nightmare.
Wow.
It looked like the beginning of like Walking Dead or
Yeah.
something. Just traffic.
Yeah.
Just stand still, and I think I might have been late for the show that day too.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was like that really
Yeah.
messed me up. I was
Yeah.
like, wow.
Miss your entrance. Hope people can just improvise and cover it.
I know, right? I'm like, oh, man.
I hope you arrive soon.
And Atlanta hasn't seen that much traffic since last year when it snowed.
Yeah. Oh man.
I was down there. I think I was down there because it was when Rake was coming out.
Yeah.
So I did like did some news stuff or whatever down in Atlanta. The day before that happened is the day I left.
Oh, you
and
lucky
then
dog.
I know I would have been. I still don't understand why we don't know how to deal with snow. It's
Yeah.
every year they shut the city down.
Yeah.
It's every year. It's like, come on, we can do something better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I mean, to a lesser extent it's like in LA when it rains, like
Right.
people just lose their
They lose
minds.
their-
They lose all
yeah.
motor skills. It's just mayhem.
Yeah.
It was my cousin. I can't remember which city he lives in because he's moved back and forth. He's either in Alpharetta or Marietta or whatever.
Right.
But it normally takes him maybe 30 minutes to get to and from work.
Yeah.
And it took him 3.5 hours to get home from work that day or whatever.
There were kids stuck on buses.
Yeah. Like what's wrong?
That would mess my brain up if my kids were stuck on a bus.
And you can't do nothing.
Can't do anything about it. I'll rent a Caterpillar.
Yeah.
I'll do something. I'm going to get my kids. The rest of y'all can stay on this bus. We go ahead and watch TV in my house.
Oh my goodness.
1-800-BLACK-CAT.
Exactly. I'll be right
Give me one
there.
of these. I think the black cats, right? That's those big with the big old pail.
With the big,
Yeah,
what was
the
it?
giant.
Yeah, the giant wheels.
Yeah, it looks like a tank wheel.
Yeah.
I would go and rent that real quick. I don't know if you guys know Chipper Jones. He's a baseball player. He's played for the Braves.
Okay.
He used to, but he went and got a couple of the Braves because he had a Caterpillar or something.
Oh.
So he was like, they were stuck.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you are not missing this
I
game.
know.
one of
He was
those.
like,
We are chasing the pennant.
exactly. I know, right? It's like, no. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. I don't understand why we can't handle the snow, man.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's the same way, people in Los Angeles can't handle the rain.
Exactly. Nah.
Yeah, I just Googled Atlanta snowstorms, and I found an article titled "A Brief History of Atlanta Snowstorms."
Brief history, yeah.
They said the worst one was in the ice storm of 1973. What started as cold rain on January 7th turned into an icy mess. It froze, draped power lines and pine trees in ice, and caused one of the most spectacular light shows in the city's history as power transformers all over town exploded.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so for 3 days, 200,000 people were without power, without heat, and unable to travel because the roads were just covered in black ice.
Oh, God.
That was like every day growing up in the Boston area.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah. I remember in the 80s. Is there one in the 80s there? Cause
Yeah,
I
the
86,
82?
82 maybe?
Yeah. Or there's one in 83 as well.
Okay.
Sounds like Atlanta's just constantly, like every 10 years, you just get pummeled by a snowstorm.
Yeah, and it's the black ice, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing, because it freezes, and like if you don't shovel soon enough, there's just a layer of ice underneath, so you try to shovel, slip, throw out your back.
Oh, so dangerous.
Bad news bears.
I remember exactly. I remember when I was 16, I was driving to school. I was 17 or something, and it just snowed, and the ice was down. I'm not knowing, so I'm driving, and I get like to the top of the hill of my community, and my car just did a 360.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my God.
I kept
Hydroplaning,
yeah.
it's terrifying.
Yeah, because you have no control.
Yeah.
And you were at the top. Did you slide down? Or
I didn't slide down. Like it did a real 360, and it stopped. Like, and I just kept going. I was like, okay, I guess it's not my time to go yet.
We're good? Well,
We're
we're
good?
We're
All
good.
right.
One thing I feel like I've heard is, like, you don't slam on your brakes.
No.
No, you can't.
And turn
right.
into it, because otherwise
That'll
you'll
lock
spin
them
out
up.
even more.
Right.
Whereas if you're
You're supposed to
either slow down
you're
or
supposed to
step
steer
on the
into
gas.
the turn. I
Yeah, you're
think
supposed to steer into the turn.
And then
That's what
if you keep the gas going, I think, so that way it's still looking for traction versus
right.
just sliding on the ice.
Right.
I think.
Those are new cars, probably. I had an old crappy car.
Yeah.
And I don't know if mine had traction. So I think I was riding on ball tires.
Yeah. Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah.
According to weather.com says if you're skidding, don't hit the brakes and steer the car in the direction that you want the front of the car to go.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
But like gently, don't like
I'm trying to pull it all.
exactly. Yeah, I know the instinct is
You
to
go
like
the opposite direction.
Yeah, even
Yeah.
worse. I remember it was a snowstorm in Massachusetts, maybe 10 years ago or something like that, and all of a sudden the power steering on my car cut out.
Right.
So then your wheel you feel like you're lifting weights at the gym. It's just brutal.
Yeah.
It's so heavy.
I can't deal with that cold weather.
Yeah,
No,
I can't.
I like it in spurts. Like I like fall weather, not like
I like fall weather.
Exactly,
I like
like sweater
a nice
weather.
new sweater,
Yeah.
a nice jacket or something.
Exactly.
That I went to Cleveland for Christmas about 3 years ago.
Why would you do that?
Because my wife is from Cleveland, and it was the most miserable experience, probably of my life. Because I didn't understand. You're from Boston.
Yeah.
You're from Michigan.
Yeah.
You guys understand cold.
Exactly.
I don't understand.
I don't. I still don't. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why I'm out here.
It's bone chilling. I mean, and that's not a joke.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it feel it in your bones. I don't think I had on thin socks or something.
Yeah.
And they were like, "No, we got to get you
And
some
it's
thick socks."
like, it's like the minute you walk outside, your skin tightens up,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
And it's just it's bone chilling. Like
Yeah.
you could have the biggest jacket on,
right.
and somehow it would find ways to get inside, and you'd feel how cold
It's,
it is.
If it touches any part of your skin,
Any part.
then your whole body's just thrown off.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this year it was just record-setting low temperatures, especially in the northern part of the country.
Right.
Razzle's brother sent him a video.
Yeah.
He went outside with a bottle of water, poured it out, it had frozen before it
Are you serious?
even hit the ground.
He took a bottle of water out, and he went outside, unscrewed the cap, and by the time he poured it out, it was frozen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's nature's way of saying, why are you living here?
right, exactly. I know.
I am uninhabitable.
Yeah. It was very cold. Speaking of cold weather, I mentioned it before about this thing I learned, and I'll tell you about it. And it has to do with cold weather. I don't know if you guys have heard, but the sailing stones. They're called sailing stones, and they're like a legend and a mystery, a world mystery throughout the world in deserts. And it's these they're big stones in the desert that leave trails behind them in the desert. And scientists, for the longest time, couldn't figure out how this happened. Because there's no footprints, no nothing. It's obviously people aren't going in the desert and just pushing these stones, and they're leaving, patterns and symmetrical patterns.
They've been studying these since like the early 1900s.
Absolutely,
to put it in perspective.
since like the 1940s, and they're like symmetrical, like these paths that they leave behind are just baffling. So finally, scientists recently they put like GPS devices on them and everything, trying to to once it starts movement, they could track movement and all that. And what it turns out is, during the cold months, the valleys of the desert will fill up with like 3 inches of water. Okay, now that's just enough water to create mud and create a slick traction.
Like an ice sheet?
Yes. So this 3 inches of water will not only soften up the ground, but it'll also, with the buoyancy with the rocks and the stones, and it freezes, okay? Then when it starts to thaw, the water leaves sheets of ice that, when big gusts of wind come by, accelerate these sheets of ice and cause them to push these rocks along the ground.
Okay.
Which is why if there's like 4 or 5 rocks within the same vicinity, they leave the same type of pattern because it's one big sheet of ice pushing it.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Maybe. Okay. There you go. See, things you learn.
They're just migrating.
Yeah. I've always wondered about that, and I read about that today, and I'm like, I got to share that. Omar, you have a show on. You're in Ray Donovan,
yes,
which is also on Showtime.
Right.
I was looking up Showtime, and I found a little fun fact about the first program that aired on Showtime. If you had to guess what you think the first program on Showtime would have been. Do you have any idea? I mean, it's a crap.
What year? What year did Showtime?
I think it was 78. Let's see here, Showtime. I didn't. Of all the facts I compiled, I didn't.
Started in 76.
76.
Yeah.
The first thing that came out.
How many seasons was Dexter?
I know, right? I wouldn't even know. Maybe Godfather.
Okay. The first program and television special to be broadcast on Showtime was Celebration, a concert special featuring Rod Stewart, Pink Floyd, and of all groups, ABBA.
Wow,
Really?
what a triple bill right there.
Dancing Queen.
You got a little something
Boy.
for everybody.
Yeah.
You'll be too stoned after Pink Floyd to move. Just stick around for ABBA. You'll start dancing.
Yeah. They'll after you're smoking the weed to get stoned for Pink Floyd, you'll see these costumes come on stage, and you'll think it was all a hallucination.
Wow, at the end of its first year, they had 55,000 subscribers nationwide.
Oh wow.
That's pretty high for
exactly. 76, a brand new pay cable network.
Pay cable network, yeah.
That's incredible.
To take things completely away from TV.
Go on.
Here's a fun thing. I never really. Generally, if you hear a phrase, you can, I mean, obviously, if you're somewhat intelligent, you can kind of try and decipher where the phrase originated from.
Right.
Sometimes you just don't put thought into it, and you use the phrase every day, and you don't even think of where the origin came from. If I had to ask you to come up with an origin for the phrase "didn't pan out,"
right?
What do you think that origin would be? Like,
I already know that.
Oh, you already know that.
I already
awesome.
know that.
Okay,
it's the 49ers. It's the goal. It was the gold rush.
I did not.
When they all, the people who got really paid during the gold rush were the people who were selling pans.
Yeah,
really.
People selling supplies.
People selling supplies.
People selling plots of land.
Yeah, so when it didn't pan out means that the gold didn't pan out.
Yeah,
when you those
just got some gross river water.
Yeah. I didn't really. I mean, I guess if I had to think about that, I maybe could have deduced that. But I read that and I'm like, I guess it's something
makes
I
sense.
never. Yeah,
right.
It makes complete sense.
Yeah.
I never thought of it.
Did you guys see that show that was on? I think it was on Discovery. a couple months back. Klondike. It was like a little miniseries.
No, I wanted to see it.
Really
though.
good.
It seemed, okay.
Definitely recommend checking it out if you get the chance.
It is about the gold rush, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's such a fascinating time.
It is. Yeah.
Like everything about it just is fascinating because you got like the panners going
Right.
out trying to find a fortune.
Right.
Yeah.
Almost like a get rich quick scheme.
Well, that's exactly what it was. Like
Everybody always comes out west to try to find a fortune.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You know,
to this day.
it never changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still even headed up to San Francisco this day.
Yeah.
They're panning for apps.
Yeah, and now instead of people selling pans, they're selling headshots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the gold rush actually started the year before 49. 49 was the big rush, but it started January 24th, 1848. A carpenter working at a mill in Northern California at John Sutter's mill discovered 2 gold nuggets, and within a year, thousands and thousands of people came all the way across the country.
Did people get rich? I mean, did anybody?
Yeah, I think definitely some people
panners
did.
did.
I know,
The people
you
sold the
said that,
pan.
yeah. I wonder if, like, how many people. I mean, like you said, it's hope. You're selling
It's hope.
Yeah.
And if I mean, a lot of it too. When with anything, you get corporations probably coming out and buying
Right.
chunks of land and paying people to pan for them or
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
If that occurred.
Yeah.
Or you have people going in the wrong spaces and
Right.
panning and mining for
Yeah.
hopelessness.
Right.
I don't know.
And you'll probably place a couple of pieces of gold. Like, look, I just got now.
Look what I
everybody
found.
I gotta
knows.
imagine.
Yeah.
Now word of mouth. Now everybody's going to go to your land to try to.
There had been a lot of
Yeah.
like tomfoolery going around with
Yeah.
people like
Oh, my God.
fooling, like if you wanted to sell land,
Right.
go buy
To-
a few pieces of gold and say, hey, we found that on there.
To put in perspective just how much money these like suppliers and merchants were making, during the height of the boom in 1849, a single egg would cost about $25 in modern money.
Whoa.
One egg, $25.
Right.
Coffee was more than $100 a pound, and trying to replace a pair of worn-out boots would cost you about $2,500
In today's.
Oh.
in today's money. Yeah.
Today's money
Yes.
for
So like one Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's and I'm reading here on history on the History Channel's website, history.com. They're saying thousands of gold rush prospectors got rich, but John Sutter, the guy who started the whole thing, wasn't one of them.
Oh.
He made a little bit of money, left. He traveled all across America, and then he finally it wasn't working out for him. He sold his land, went bankrupt, moved to Pennsylvania, and died bitter and broke.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
it's
Bad
kind of
ne-
like if you found gold
yeah.
and California is relatively a sparse country or state, and you don't have thousands of people flocking here yet. And
Right.
you found it on an accident, and it's worth so much money. Why would you tell anybody?
Yeah.
Find more. Just camp out and be like, oh, I got it somewhere
Well,
else.
he wanted to keep control of his land, so he tried to keep news quiet, but it
Yeah.
leaked out because
guess people are gonna
eventually
follow
people were
you.
like, you hear old man Sutter found gold in
Right.
his place.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was people came in, they came in with equipment and all this stuff, and he had all these mounting debts, so he had to sell the deed to his land to one of his sons, who then founded a city, Sacramento.
Oh,
Sutter was pissed because he thought he was going to name it after him, like
Right.
Sutter City, USA, Dad rules.
Yeah.
But unfortunately for him, not the case. Oh, he tried for decades to get the U.S. government to reimburse him for his losses.
Yeah,
No
good luck
dice.
with that.
No dice. That was the largest mass migration in U.S. history. The
Really?
Gold Rush. Yeah.
Yeah.
About 150,000 people. 150,000. There were in 1848. There was about 150,000 people there, and what does it say here? By the mid 1850s, there were more than by the mid 1850s. So like 2 years, like 5 years later, there was more than 300,000 new arrivals,
Oh,
and
wow.
1 in every 90 people in the U.S. was living in California.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I guess then, remind me what the definition of carpetbagger was, because isn't that changing business, changing?
No, that was a derogatory term during the Civil War.
The Civil War?
It was like Civil War era and like Reconstruction era,
Right, okay.
where people from the north typically would come down south to try. So a Yankee from up north, they would pick up all their belongings in a carpet bag, come down south, and try to affect change of some sort. So it was a derogatory term by people already in the South who didn't appreciate them coming in and trying to change the status quo.
For some reason, I guess I thought it was, almost like that. Like you see an opportunity, you see that many people going out there, so you're like, I can sell them pans.
Right.
I guess that for some reason I thought it was I feel like there was a name for that or whatever, like opportunist, not where you see that many people migrating over there and you realize that there's business opportunities out there that they're going to need these belongings, and while they're out doing that, we can make a lot of money just selling them stuff that they already, that they're not prepared with.
Yep. How's that $100 a pound coffee taste?
Exactly.
Pretty terrible.
That's genius right there.
Because it's $18.49.
Yeah.
And that's how much the stuff was going for in California at the time?
At the time, especially around areas that were being heavily mined in California, on average, in modern figures, like an egg would be $25, coffee $100 a pound.
Man, okay.
Getting your boots repaired, just like replacing your boots, $2,500. Yeah,
they're Gucci boots.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Those gold laces. Oh my gosh,
that's awesome.
And actually, there was I'm reading here so much stuff. There's actually that was not the first gold rush in U.S. history. There was one 50 years before that. In North Carolina, a 17-pound gold nugget was found in Cabarrus County, North Carolina. And more than 30,000 people started mining for gold there. And for 30 years, all the gold coins issued in the U.S. were produced using North Carolina gold.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So,
did not know
thanks,
that.
North Carolina, but we're off the gold standard. So.
To change it away from
enough of this gold talk.
To change it away from the gold rush, Omar, you were from near the Atlanta area,
right?
My cousin lives in Atlanta,
right.
And he's always complaining about how there are no 7-Elevens.
There used to be.
Really?
There used to be. They all went away.
They all went away.
Yeah.
There. Do you like Slurpees?
I love Slurpees.
You love Slurpees.
Yes.
7-Eleven. Here's a fun fact. Everything on the show, I guess, is I like to call fun facts, but irregardless. 7-Eleven has the free Slurpee Day. Every year in the United States. It's July 11th.
Yeah.
Now, because in the Southern Hemisphere, a lot of the other countries and foreign countries, their calendar is reversed.
Right.
So it'll be the day of the year will be first.
Right.
Followed by the month.
Then that. So in the Southern Hemisphere, they have free Slurpee Day on November 7th.
Wow, okay.
It's because that... Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's it.
So they would
7-Eleven.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's it.
Yeah. So and
it's good marketing.
The other countries that have the dates reversed, they have the free Slurpee Day.
Okay, so that's a fun fact. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And fun fact about the Slurpee, it was actually invented at Dairy Queen. In the late 1950s, a gentleman named Omar Nedlick of Kansas City, he owned a rundown Dairy Queen. His soda fountain was on the fritz. It wasn't working right, so he improvised by putting some bottles in the freezer to keep them cool. When he popped the top, he found that they were a little bit frozen, kind of slushy.
Right.
And, he decided to serve them anyway, and people loved them and started requesting those pops that were in for a little bit longer.
Right.
So he realized he had a surprise hit. He built a special machine that used the air conditioning unit from a car to crank out this slushy soda mix and using flavored syrup, water, and carbon dioxide to give it some fizz. He called it an icy. But when the drink concept was licensed to 7-Eleven in 1965, they renamed it the Slurpee after the sound you make when you're drinking through the straw.
Right.
So if anybody asks who you're named after,
The guy who invented the Slurpee.
the guy invented the Slurpee.
And now
True American hero.
The Slurpee at Dairy Queen is called the Mystery Mix or something like that. Mystery
Really?
something. I forgot.
Oh, man.
What is the icy at the Mystery? I forgot what it is.
That just doesn't sound nearly as.
It doesn't sound as good. It doesn't-
Mystery.
The mystery.
It's like that.
Mist.
It's like The Simpsons when they're talking about the Krusty Burger and the other part, the McDonald's on the other side of town.
Right.
They're like, what do you call the partially the gelatinated dairy-based beverage or whatever?
Right.
And then the guy's like, yeah, they call it a shake. Shakes. You don't know what you're getting.
Right. Oh, it's called the Arctic Rush.
Yeah,
now.
the Cherry Arctic Rush.
There you go. Okay, it used to be called something else when I was younger. I used to get it.
They got their moo
They're
lattes.
expensive though.
Yeah, Dairy Queen is expensive, but man,
It
they're
is.
good. They got
Yeah,
some
they
good
are.
stuff, dude.
They've got chillers. I don't know.
When did the Blizzard come into play?
See, that is the true question.
That is what we need to know.
Oh man, I was. There's a Dairy Queen right off the highway on the way down to San Diego, and anytime I'll do stand up down there or go to concerts down there or whatever, I always stop off and get a Blizzard because the Blizzards are so good.
I love those things. What's your favorite flavor?
I had the Oreo one recently, and that was really good. But I used to like Butterfinger, then I got sick of it getting stuck in my
Stuck in
teeth.
your
So
teeth,
I'll
yeah.
go with like then same with the Snickers bar because the caramel will freeze and it'll get hard.
Right.
So I
I get
can't do
mine
that.
mixed. I get Butterfinger mixed with Heath Bar.
Ooh, Heath bars are good.
Now, that's something special. I think I'm gonna get one after.
See, I've never been to Dairy Queen, so I'm gonna take this under advisement for my
Right.
first Blizzard.
Yeah.
And to answer your question, it was invented in 1985.
Okay,
And
yeah.
they sold 175 million that year.
Yeah.
Understandably so.
Yeah.
Million that year.
Yeah.
That many.
107.
People were thirsty.
Yeah, I think we used to get them like right after soccer practice.
Oh,
right
yeah.
after the soccer game on Sundays, on Saturdays. My mom would always take us. This might have been like 85 too.
Yeah,
Or
that's
86.
it's the best.
Yeah.
Hey, I just expended all this energy, did a bunch of athletic stuff. Give me some ice
me
cream.
some sugar.
I earned this. Don't you? I don't want an orange slice. Put that away.
The company that owns Dairy Queen also owns Orange Julius.
Yes.
And Caramel Corn.
Ah.
And the first Dairy Queen, Caramel Corn. The the idea of like a business completely dedicated to caramel corn.
Yeah.
baffles me.
No popcorn, just caramel.
The first Dairy Queen restaurant was located in Joliet, Illinois, and it was operated by Sherb Noble and opened for business on June 22nd, 1940.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it's been opened. And the first Canadian Dairy Queen opened up in Saskatchewan in 1953.
Dang.
So they've and they're few and far between here in California. Like
Yeah.
they're very.
There's
They're
one.
not a lot of places.
There's not a lot. There's one on Crenshaw, like at the Crenshaw Mall,
Okay.
and I think there might be one at the mall in Sherman Oaks, maybe.
Okay.
I think so.
The Galleria there?
The Galleria, yeah. No, not in Sherman Oaks. The one that's on Woodman. I forgot.
Okay.
Like in
They're so
Studio
good.
City. Yeah, I love it.
They're so good.
Man.
Soft serve ice cream is like.
Yeah.
as if you,
Well, it's like a cult out here, soft serve. Like there's soft frozen yogurt. I say is
Yeah.
Oh,
probably
yeah.
bigger now.
Yeah.
But soft serve, it's an entry point.
yeah. Yeah.
If you like soft serve,
You'll
you're
love this.
eating too much.
I'll tell
Like,
you what.
I got to do something.
Did they have TCBYs and
Yeah,
Georgia? Oh, those are so
the
good.
country's
This
best
can't be
yogurt.
so
I remember when it first, I don't remember when it first happened, but I remember like in the '80s when it first
blew
popped.
up.
Yeah, but you know what? They came and went though.
They did.
Yeah,
They
because
did.
like the Froyo craze now that's in L.A. That's what we were on with the TCBY.
Yeah, only it was like 3 flavors. Though.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry
Right.
maybe mixed.
yeah.
But
I
here
wanna
it's
get
like
man, I want a Froyo now.
Dude,
I wanted
it's-
a Blizzard. Now I want some frozen yogurt.
yeah, but if in Froyo they do have the Butterfinger,
They have all the little things,
but they don't have Heath bars.
Yeah, they don't. do
So
they?
stop at 7-Eleven.
Get my
Yeah.
own.
drive over a
There you
Heath
go.
bar.
Yeah, look at this all coming
BYO
together now.
Heath.
Yeah.
I wish they made full size Mr. Good bars. Those are
yeah.
good. Like
They
I
only
always
come
get
in
those-
fun size?
Yeah, they always
Yeah.
come in that.
Oh, no, that's the
mix.
only ones they make?
Yeah.
For
I feel like
Halloween.
you
Yeah.
can find them if you go to like a general store.
Right.
Like
It's probably
like
the same one that's been in there since
exactly,
78.
yeah, right next to the Abba Zaba
Yeah.
and the Mary Jane, like all this, the button candy.
Yeah. The Archie bubble gum.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, good old Bazooka Joe.
Yeah.
Joke on every rapper.
Here's something I learned the other day. Animals always fascinate me, and I was looking up animal like names and where they derive from. And the word rhinoceros is derived through Latin from the ancient Greek. It's when it's all together, I can't pronounce it, but if I split it up, it's from the ancient Greek pivo kepak, I believe, which is Latin for the rhino means nose. Then caris means horn. So it's the nose horn. It's essentially rhinoceros's nose horn is Latin for nose horn. And on the show, we have quite a bit of collective groups, like what animals are called in groups. And the plural in English, a group of rhinoceroses is known as a crash or a herd.
Okay.
So it'd be like, did you see the crash of rhinoceros?
Crash of Rhinos. Yeah, why not?
And here's something interesting too. Rhino horns are not made out of bone.
Ah.
They're made out of a substance called keratin, which is the same material found in your hair and your fingernails.
Interesting.
Oh, really?
So essentially,
That's just a gross fingernail growing out of their
essentially
face.
okay,
a rhinoceros horn is just a really thick fingernail.
Hardened. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I read that, and that kind of. And there, I was reading also, a rhinoceros is considered the second largest land mammal underneath an elephant.
Okay.
Hippopotamus could be, but since they predominantly
Live
hang
in
out
water.
in water, they're
Right.
considered a land mammal.
Oh, well, here's a horrifying fact about rhinos. Their pregnancies last 15 to 16 months.
Could you imagine being the male rhino?
Nope. No, I
to
cannot.
deal with that for 15
Yeah,
months?
I think Ace Ventura said it best. Kind of hot in these rhinos. Well, speaking of animals, I was a big fan of. Recently in Guardians of the Galaxy, you got to see.
Yeah.
There's a little dog who comes out, and that is the name is escaping me at the moment. But that dog is a character in the comics. But I first thought
Aristotle knows it.
What was it? Cosmo. Thank you. Yes, Cosmo.
Thanks, Aristotle.
Thank you. Cosmo the space dog. Anyway, cool character in the comics, but that dog itself is an homage to another famous space dog called Laika.
Okay.
Now, Yuri Gagarin, the Russian cosmonaut, was the first man, the first human being in outer space, but that would not have been possible without Laika, the terrier who the Soviet Union enlisted as a cosmonaut, literally picked her up off the street in Moscow. And it was that Laika was the first living being to orbit the Earth, and unfortunately did not survive the mission to enjoy that success. Officials in the Soviet Union said that she survived for at least a few days, but she actually died less than 2 hours into the mission from stress and overheating. So don't send dogs into space in the 1960s is the moral of this story.
There we go.
Yeah.
Mental note. It's funny you bring up space. Because I have a tab pulled up. I tend to keep tabs pulled up on my computer because I'm too lazy to shut them. And I totally forgot I had this tab pulled up. But this has to do with space. So I clicked on it because it said planet. And I'm like, oh, what is this tab that says planet? Every planet in our solar system can fit, if you put them next to each other, would fit between the Earth and the Moon.
Really?
Yeah.
That's how far the moon. That's,
Yep.
Oh, okay.
During the
that's how-
it's got to be because the moon, like the size of the moon, like when you have the supermoon, the moon's closer. But
Right.
when the moon is at its farthest point
Right.
from Earth, every planet in the solar system, and that's like a to scale picture I'm showing you for the listeners. I'm showing him a picture that you can't hear or see.
People love
You'll have to
visual
go-
bits on podcasts.
But yeah, at the farthest point, every planet, if you put them next to each other, fits in between the Earth and the moon.
Wow. Okay. That's a lot of distance.
Yeah. That's. I mean,
Well,
and it's
Saturn and Jupiter. Those are like really
just like
huge.
That's
Yeah.
I mean, that's over half the distance.
I know, we got a lot of unused real estate up there.
Yeah. So I thought that was neat. Here's the thing, Omar. Did you play Monopoly as a kid?
Yes, I did. I played Monopoly as a grown man.
As a
Yeah.
Yes.
How many friendships has it ended?
Hey, I really love that game.
Depends on
It
who's the
talks
banker.
So much trash.
Oh,
I talk
yeah.
a lot of trash.
What's
yeah.
your piece?
I like the shoe.
The shoe.
Yeah, I do. And I used to like the car, but I like the shoe more.
Yeah.
Because I'm a Jordan fan. So,
Nice, yes.
yeah. So
Do you have a particular strategy?
I just buy everything I
Just
land
buy
on.
everything you land on.
Yeah.
As you should, because here a lot of people are raised under the pre-notion that if you land on something and you don't want to buy it, you just keep moving and whoever lands on it keeps on buying it. But according to the actual Monopoly rules,
If you land on something you don't want to buy it, somebody else can buy it.
it goes up for auction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of auction,
Yep.
Yeah, there are no open houses. There's
are
no
no-
just browsing.
There's
Right.
not, and a lot of people don't know that because they're raised, they're taught by their parents or by their older people,
Right.
and it makes it more of like a fair, and it makes it actually makes the game last longer,
Right.
Which is because you can hang on to your money.
That's the
longer.
problem with Monopoly.
Absolutely.
It's too short.
That's
what everyone says.
Nobody wants to play Monopoly because they think of it as so long, but that's only because they're playing the wrong way.
Yeah.
Which
I
is-
play online. I like online.
Oh, really?
I play on my iPad.
Really?
So I play it the right way.
Yeah.
And I used to play it all day, every day.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
What would you say is your favorite board game? Monopoly?
Monopoly
Or
has, chess or Monopoly.
Okay.
Yeah, but like Milton and Bradley type game,
Yeah.
it would be Monopoly. I love
yeah.
it, man. I do.
It's
I
so
just
fun.
like money.
Yeah.
I like making people pay
Exactly.
me.
Yeah.
Like, you landed on this. You know I have hotels over here. You got to break
Why'd
bread.
you roll a 3, Carl?
Sorry.
Yeah, the way my friend plays is he just buys everything he can, then immediately mortgages it to get money back, and then just wait a couple rounds. Before you know it, he's got hotels and he's a freaking slumlord.
Oh,
just
yeah.
like half the town is just like mortgaged abandoned houses.
Right.
And he just land on his like luxury hotels and he cleans up.
Yeah. Oh, that's
he wins every
smart.
time.
Okay.
He's a monster.
Yeah, but there's the chance of you mortgage your hotels and you mortgage your land and you get all this money, but then what happens if you start landing on other people's things and you lose all that money?
Right,
So then
right.
you're,
And you got to start
screwed.
giving up your property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
According, I'm reading this list of Monopoly facts compiled from Answers.com, and the longest game of Monopoly ever played lasted 1,680 hours, which is 70 days or 10 weeks or 2 1/3 months.
Now, is that because it was like a continuous game, or that's just because they had way better shit to do?
I would hope it was not continuous. Unless they're just like in a hospital, they have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we're trapped on this island.
Right.
Oh my God! 1978, Neiman Marcus sold an all-chocolate edition of Monopoly for the Christmas holiday season. The entire set was edible and sold for $600.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah,
You couldn't play on it.
just melts by the time you get home.
Yeah.
Oh, I left it by the fire. Oops.
I have different types of Monopoly games. too. I
Yeah.
have the Godfather Monopoly game.
Okay.
I got like the Atlanta Monopoly game. It's
Okay.
like, you landing on
Is
Peachtree
it
Street.
called-
Yeah, I had
Atlantopoly?
Bostonopoly.
You had the Boston
I
one?
had Bostonopoly. Is
Yeah.
what they? Yeah.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I'm a big time Monopoly fan.
It's
Yeah.
so fun. Monopoly's got to be one of the most licensed
Right.
like games,
Right.
Like because of all the you got Star Wars Monopoly, you got Boston Monopoly, you got Power Rangers Monopoly.
Well, it's
you got
so easy.
Disney
Like
Monopoly.
pretty much everybody has played it or they know the rules.
Yeah.
So it's just add in a nice twist on top of that, and
Yeah.
people are going to buy it.
When was it? It was invented by like during the Great Depression as for something that so families could have.
Yeah, it
something to do,
was.
something like
It was actually based on another game, first published by this Quaker political activist Elizabeth Maggie. But yeah, I believe it came out in the Depression era.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, and, let's see here. I'm reading here. It was the history of Monopoly can be traced back to 1903, when an American woman named Elizabeth J. Maggie Phillips created a game through which she hoped to be able to explain the single tax history, the single tax theory of Henry George.
Really exciting.
Yeah.
Killer theory.
It was
probably my fave theory of that year.
Her game was known as the Landlord's Game, and it was self-published in 1906. Then in 1903, the board game called Monopoly was created.
Which year was that one?
1933.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
when the Parker brothers and
Yeah.
all that sold that one.
Okay.
Evidently, during World War II, the British Secret Service made a special version of Monopoly for prisoners of war held by the Nazis, and the game included maps, compasses, real money, and other objects that could help them escape.
Yeah.
So, thanks, Parker Brothers. We appreciate it.
Would you play Monopoly with real money?
Oh, man.
That's different.
I would not play with real money. Probably not, because I would not.
I mean, just with ones or something.
Maybe with
not
ones,
like,
not
not like
that would be
hundreds and
that would be an
thousands.
amazing little booth area, like a little table in Vegas, like
Yeah, that would be,
real money
yeah.
Monopoly. Oh
Hold on,
my
let's see
God!
here. Let me. How much money?
Is
I'm
in the-
googling here.
I forget.
How much? Like when you start at the start of the game, like if the three of us or there's 5 of us in here, if the 5 of us wanted to play Monopoly right now,
Right.
and we divvied up the money in the bank, how much money do we start with?
I think is it
I want to say 2,000.
2,000,
Yeah,
right?
you get 2 500s, couple hundreds.
The official rules say $1,500.
Okay,
$1,500,
yeah.
that's it,
So let's take that
Some
down.
adjusting for inflation.
So but that's not including the money that's technically in the
It's
bank
still
already.
in the bank,
Yeah.
yeah, because you get
Yeah.
money when you pass
But
go.
let's assume let's say you start with $150 of your own money.
Right.
That could be an interesting.
That would
game.
be sort of
Yeah.
$50 of your
That
own
would be
money.
fun. It's like instead of playing poker, let's play Monopoly.
Exactly,
Monopoly.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a little more like strategy and luck versus what cards do you get and bluffing. So it's a little more. It'd be a little more fun.
I remember back in college on a particularly drunken evening, we decided to play Strip Monopoly, where you could mortgage a piece of clothing for $100, and that was fun, but it gets messy quick.
Yeah.
I'd rather play with real money.
Right.
I'll tell you what. That's an interesting. I like that. I kind of like that. Or even just for fucking around, $15.
Yeah,
You get a group
yeah.
of 6 people to play
Right.
Monopoly for $15, and the winner walks with it all.
Right.
That's $80, $90.
Yeah.
$90 for a game of.
Yeah. 6 people. Yeah.
Yeah, $90 for
That'd be
70
fun.
for
That'd
70
actually- that would
days.
be.
Because
Yeah.
then you're not just going all willy nilly buying a house.
Yeah, you're
here
gonna think
or-
about it.
It's strategic. It's like really like, okay,
Yeah.
this is my money.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got to think about that. Look
$15
at-
$15 for Park Place.
Yeah.
On season 2 of Hollywood Game Night, Omar Dorsey and the Monopoly Challenge.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Let's get that going, Jane Lynch. I know
Get
you're
that,
listening.
Jane
oh man, see, all right, look, we've thought of something.
Yeah.
We gotta do this.
We get a trademark copyright
Exactly.
little circle with an
TM.
R in it.
Yeah.
Monopoly,
All that fun stuff.
Real money Monopoly
Real money
TM.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I think that we are
we're approaching our time here.
Yeah. So, Omar, thank you so much for being
I
here today, man.
appreciate it. Oh, I've
Where
learned
can,
so much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good.
thank you, yeah.
Mission accomplished.
So have we.
Where can
Yeah,
people
this
find you on the World Wide Web?
Yeah.
You could find me on Twitter at Omar Dorsey. You can find me on Instagram at MrDorsey. That's Mr. Dorsey.
Nice.
Yes.
And then this is also where we'd like to plug any projects you got coming up. So
Right.
You have Selma
Coming out Christmas Day.
Christmas Day.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at your IMDb. You got a TV series coming out called Battle Creek.
Yes,
When does that come out?
that
or-
starts in the winter.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we also, every Sunday night, Ray Donovan,
Ray
9
Donovan.
o'clock.
Showtime.
Yes.
Be one of the 55,000 plus subscribers.
Yes, I think they've gone up a little bit.
Yeah, just a couple.
Awesome. Well, once again, Selma comes out on Christmas Day. Check that out. It's appearing to be, and it looks like it's going to be a really, really great movie.
Yes.
Check that out every Sunday night. Ray Donovan
Yes.
on Showtime, and Omar Dorsey on Twitter.
Yes.
And we want to thank you for joining us.
Thank
we really
you.
appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for taking the time to
Oh,
to
man.
hang
Okay.
out.
So I want
Yeah.
to go back and read all of this.
Thanks for making me want to have a Dairy Queen Blizzard.
Isn't that what's on your mind right now? At this very second, I'm like, where's the closest?
Thanks for
Dairy
joining
Queen?
us. Out of my way. I'm going to.
Yeah. I think there's one in Burbank.
Is there?
Yeah.
There is one in Burbank.
Yeah, like Magnolia.
Yeah, that's not the way to my house.
That's
Yeah.
not too
But
far
it's the
from
way
mine.
to your heart.
Thank you for that. Honey, why were you late? Traffic.
I got caught in a blizzard.
All on
I got
me,
caught in
where
a
were you?
blizzard. That's all I can
I got
say.
caught in a blizzard, and I'm not lying.
Once again, you can follow me on Twitter at my name is Razzle and the number 2.
And I am at OsteoFerocious. And you can also find the podcast on Twitter at TWL Podcast. You can find us on Facebook. Today we learned with Razzle and Dan.
You can shoot us an email or a Gmail at todaywelearnedpodcast@gmail.com. We want to thank you guys for checking us out. As always, you guys are really awesome. Our listeners are very awesome. They send us facts, they send us trivia, and they give us good ratings and reviews on iTunes, and we really, really appreciate that. And we also want to thank Aristotle for doing this. And I met a girl on Twitter. Her name is Brittany, and she works for Muscle Milk, and she gave me she mailed me 2 big cases of Muscle Milk.
Whoa, seriously?
Yeah.
Hey, Brittany, come on.
So I want to
share the wealth.
I want to give a shout out to Brittany and everybody at Muscle Milk for sending me awesome stuff.
Yeah, for
She
sweet.
probably wasn't supposed to mail you that. She's gonna get fired now.
It's supposed to be refrigerated.
Omar, thanks for joining us.
Thank
Thanks
you,
to our
guys.
listeners for being awesome and sticking with us. And as always,
Do not pass go. Do not collect $200 unless you really need it, in which case we can talk.
awesome. Thank you.
right.
Bye.
Now leaving Nerdist.com.